All right, sit comfortably. And then lengthen through spine. Take the hands to the knees or thighs. Nice and tall with the torso. And we're just going to move the rib cage a little bit. Right ribs out to the right, left ribs out to the left. During these times of, uncertainty, it starts to bring vulnerability up within the body. And when there's a vulnerability in the body, there is stress and tension, because vulnerability means that we're not really sure what's going to happen. So this movement from the torso from side to side is a chance to get the nervous system wakened up, and it's also a chance for the immune system to get a little bit more stronger, right? And then with this movement from side to side, we're going to start to round a little bit, almost like a rounding cat-cow. So we're going to go one direction, and really deliberate and slow. And one of the reasons why I like our morning practice so much is that there's a lot of opportunity for us to be malleable. And then once you go one way, let's go the other way. All right, back to center, reach your arms up, wiggle your fingers, roll your wrists, pulse your hands. Elbows bend, hands and elbows draw back, and then let's just bring the hands and the elbows together. So just give them a little squeeze. And then keep them here for a moment. Focus on your forearms and your elbows as you bring your elbows up and down. Kind of feeling what's going on within the outsides of the shoulders and the shoulder blades. And then inhale, open them up nice and slow. Swivel your palms down towards the floor and then towards the back of the room. And then interlace your fingers behind your back, but keep your elbows bent. Take the knuckles towards the right ribs, like you're trying to show people like your rings. And then draw your right ear towards your right shoulder. So you're just creating a really heavy left shoulder. And then we're going to explore the left side of the neck by lifting the chin up and down. And we're going to also move the chin right and left, kind of like you're saying no. So if you find a spot that needs attention, give yourself a moment there to explore. This whole practice is about intimacy, finding what's going on with our body this morning, and making sure that we move in a way that supports our needs. When that's taken care of, draw the chin all the way towards the chest, and then you're just going to switch your knuckles to the other side, and then left ear to left shoulder. Keep in mind, you may be finding sensation right side, left side quite different. Chin right and left, like you're saying no. Up and down. A lot of this is just creating foundation for the rest of the day. All right, chin towards chest, hands back to the center, knuckles towards the floor. Squeeze the shoulder blades towards one another, and then make some really big circles with the head. And just like we were doing with the torso, we're going to go one direction, and then we'll go the other direction. And then release the hands, give them a little shake. Take the hands behind you, lean back, extend your legs out in front of you. And then give the legs a little shake. You may cut off some of the circulation sitting in that cross-legged pose for some time. So hands into fists, a little tap of the thighs, a little move of the kneecaps. Flex and point the toes so you feel the calves and the tops of the feet and the ankles. You do that a few times. And then really big circles with the feet. And then move the flesh from under your sit bones, lengthen through torso as the hand comes down to the floor. So as if you're gonna pick the hips up off the ground, but you're not. And then you're just gonna hinge forward. So you can keep your hands here and you can rotate your fingers in any direction that works for a little bit of leverage. What I really want you to pay attention to is the length of spine. So try not to collapse right now. So we're just gonna see if we can get into the sensation of the backs of the legs. And keep in mind, we're not trying to fix anything, but we're just trying to wake up the body a little bit. And that sensation could be a little bit intense. So the inhalation could bring you up a little bit as it softens the sensation, and the exhalation can come forward. Now, if you're a little bit more flexible this morning, the hands can slide underneath the knees as you use your biceps to come a little bit farther forward, or if you have the flexibility, you can reach for the toes. But I want you to make sure you kind of draw those shoulders down and away from the ears. Give yourself a breath or two here. You can move a little bit with the breath pattern, or you can create some stillness. So inhalation could lift up, exhalation can soften, or maybe you move energetically in that direction. Give yourself 2 more breaths. And once again, maybe just kind of bringing your awareness to right side, left side, just to find a variation. Like my right side hamstring is tighter than my left, but my left glute a little higher is a little bit tighter. And it's those details that we really want to kind of bring awareness to. Inhale, come on up, bend your knees, bring the soles of the feet together. Let's do a little foot massage. So thumbs in the arches and just a little movement towards the toes. So from heels to toes, just kind of press towards the balls of the feet. And when you get there, you're just going to massage the balls of the feet as well as the toes. Oh yeah. So you're going to press them down and open them up, and maybe even get a little bit of flexibility from side to side, from right foot to left foot. You can even massage your ankles. I was doing something yesterday in the garden and my right ankle just stopped working. And I was like, what is going on? And then all day long, my ankle was bothering me. So just kind of take care of yourself. And then once the feet are taken care of, draw your heels towards your hips. Draw your knees towards the floor gently, slowly, and then soften the legs. And then try it again. So engage a little bit, maybe even lengthen through the spine, so lift the heart, and then soften the legs. And so I want the sensation to come from hinging at the pelvis rather than the pressing down now. So you're going to come forward, and sensation will probably be groin. So I don't want you to press and I don't want you to push. Give yourself just a moment to feel the sensation here. Spine is still long. You can even do that same movement with the torso. This may show up in the lower back and the groins. If you do need more, you can take the elbows towards the ankles or calves and you can press out. And then as you get closer towards the knees, and then you can press a little bit down. But I want you to be really mindful of that sensation. And then once you're comfortable here, you can tuck your chin, round a little bit through your upper back, let your shoulders become heavy. And you can even tuck the chin like you're bringing your forehead towards your toes. And once you tuck the chin and round a little bit through the back, I don't want you to pull anymore. That it can be a little bit rough on the spine. So if you're rounding through the back, you're just letting gravity do a little bit more of the work, and breathe. One more deep, full breath. All right, slowly come on up. Hands behind you, lean back, and let's get some wide legs. So one of the things I always want to make sure that is taken care of is your heels. So we're going to be hinging forward, and because the hamstrings and groins are really strong, you may have some sensation in those heels. So if you need to, either rotate so like you're like me on the mat, like the legs are wide, like the length of the mat, or slide something underneath the heels. Now, if you're on a nice carpeted floor, you may not need it. So once you're nice and wide, internally rotate the thighs a little bit so the toes are pointing straight up. Take your hands back behind you, press down, lift your hips up, and then lean forward with the torso, and then rest the hips down so we're on the hip bones. And then the hands can come forward. Now, if your hands are coming forward and you're finding that you're really rounding through the spine, you may want to keep your hands behind you. That's okay. So if I'm here and hinging forward, I definitely can feel it, and it's plenty. So you have the option. Another option is the hands are in front of you and the elbows are bent as they draw towards the floor. So you can just kind of be really soft with the arms. I got two more options for you. The next one is coming onto your fingertips as you walk your hands forward. This will start to get a little bit more intense. And then the last one would be hands towards the shins, ankles, or maybe the big toes. And you bend your elbows and you come forward a little bit more. So give yourself about 3 breaths here and just give a sense of where you feel it in groins, hamstrings. You always have the option of moving a little right and left. We're going to really move right and left eventually, but for right now, little just micro bending from side to side. Tuck the chin a little bit. Once again, let gravity kind of take over for a breath or two. Yes. Hold on, Sherry. Let me unmute you for a second. Yeah.
I'm feeling it in my low back.
Yes, you will feel it in your low back. If that's tighter than the hamstrings, it'll show up there. Okay. Does it feel okay though? Manageable?
Yes.
Okay, so what you could also do is lift the heart a little bit, take a little bit of the curvature out. Doesn't mean that sensation is going to go away from the lower back, but it'll show up there as well. Okay?
Yeah, that's much better, actually.
Yeah. Sometimes rounding will get the muscles on each side of the spine.
Thank you.
So, and you can play with it. So you can go here and you can go here. You can also keep the hands behind the lower back. That'll support the lower back if you want less sensation lower back. Yeah. Nice. Inhale. Slowly lift yourself on up. Walk the hands around the right leg. Twist the shoulders so they're trying to get square to that right foot. So find the twist first. And then once you have the twist, then you start to come forward. Now, Sherry, you may feel this in the lower left side of your back. This is where I feel it. So think about left side body being long as the left hip bone drops towards the floor. Definitely feeling it in right hamstring, right groin. Think about left shoulder coming forward. And then that's where you'll get a little bit more through that lower back. So a lot of times I feel it's easier to take the right hand and just reach for the right foot. But if you start to square your shoulders, you're going to get a little bit more through the twist. Inhale, come on up, back to center. Find neutrality first. And then hands around left leg. Before you come forward, twist a little to the left. With the right shoulder, right arm, start to walk it forward and then hinge over that left leg. Not that your shoulders will be square to your left foot, but that's the direction that we're moving. And when you draw the right shoulder forward, you may feel it right groin, you may feel it right lower back, you may feel it the right hip, as well as back of the left leg, of course. Big inhales, slow exhales. Does not matter to me how close your torso gets to the leg. What matters is where's the sensation and what kind of micro adjustments can you make to support the sensation. One more deep, full breath. See if you can soften a little bit, upper back, shoulders, maybe even like your jaw and face. And then inhale, slowly come on up to center. Take the hands to the insides of the hamstring or insides of the groins, and then bend the knees, bring the soles of the feet together. Keep your feet now a little bit farther out in front of you. Move the flesh from under your sit bones as you rock from side to side. And then hinge forward. So you may start to feel this now, the outside of the hips now, rather than the groins. Soften the shoulders on the feet, ankles, or shins. Tuck the chin, release the head, and soften here. You also, Sherry, you may feel this in your lower back as well. Now, I sometimes try to reserve the description of where you should feel it because everyone's different and every practice is different. So some days you may feel it in groin, some days you feel it in the hips, the lower back, mid back. And when you feel it there, that means the body needs that attention. It's not wrong. The only things that are wrong is like joints, if you feel it in the joints, or you feel it in the bones, or you're feeling like pain. We don't want that. One more really big inhale and slow exhale. Hands under shoulders, gently lift yourself on up. Roll to your left hip and then grab your right ankle and pull your right knee back a little. So we're gonna work into this. I want to make sure there's no sensation in that right knee that's uncomfortable. So if there's any pressure, then you're going to slide something underneath the knee. If there's any sensation in the knee that's just too much, you'll bring your foot back around and bring it towards maybe the groin. If you're feeling pretty good in the knee, you can draw it back farther. And then the last option with this right foot is you can scoot your heel away from the hip a little as well. This will show up in the groin. So that's the right leg. Everybody's knees okay? Cool. Okay. Take your left knee and bend it in 90 degrees, so it's like in a right angle. And then take your left ankle or left heel and get it into the middle of your body. So your sternum and your toes are pointing in the same direction, same spot. Now, for a lot of us, we're resting on the left hip, and that's fine. But I want to lift it up and I want to rotate it forward. So the hands down, lift your hips up, and then lean the torso forward as you lower that left hip down. Now, left hand comes down out in front of you, and the right hand comes to the bottom of the foot. All right. And then we're just going to take our heart towards our heel. Now, once you get forward, you got some options, of course. You can move the torso right and left. Now, for me, when I move a little bit more to the right, I feel it in the left hip. If I move a little bit to the left, I feel it in my right groin. Which one do I want to work with? Well, I can make that decision. I can usually find both of them if I kind of find that midpoint where I can be right in the center. Now, if you're just not feeling enough and you're wanting more sensation in your left hip, I got another option for you. You can take your right hand to the floor and take your left elbow into the arch of the foot. So left elbow in the arch of the left foot. Now, you're going to take that left hand into a fist, and that right hand comes on top. And you're going to twist to the right. So you're going to look over the right shoulder and right elbow. When you do this, you're pushing your left knee back as you twist, which will show up into that hip. Give yourself one more deep, full breath wherever you are. All right, everybody, come on up. Your legs are going to stay right where they are, and you're just going to scoot your left shin back towards you, so your left sole of the foot is on your right thigh. Then your hands are going to plant down, and you're going to lean forward, and then you're going to straighten your right knee as you extend your leg all the way back. We're in pigeon on the left side now. So your right leg is long and your right toes are pointed. You have a nice big angle of your left shin. That's on purpose. You're going to move from side to side. So you're probably like left heel towards right hip bone. Lengthen through torso, get nice and tall, and then walk your hands to the left. So around that left knee, gaze over your left shoulder. You're twisting to the left. And you're going to drop your right hip bone towards the floor. Yeah, perfect. Now on your inhalation, see if you can get taller with your torso. So like get longer through the spine. All right, come back to center. If you don't feel much in your left hip, You're going to scoot your left foot a little farther forward, and then you will square your hip bones again. And you keep doing that until you feel like it's enough. Once you're comfortable here, elbows down, and then assess where you're at. Everyone's knees are okay. Does anybody need an alternative? Everyone's okay? Okay, cool. All right, so if you have blocks, you can use those underneath your elbows. You could use it for underneath your head. If you have a pillow or a bolster, you could put it underneath the torso and then soften. Now I'm gonna give you guys another option. If you're looking for more of a hip opener, we're gonna do a little twist to the left. So we're gonna thread the needle. We're gonna take the right arm underneath the left arm, and we're gonna rest to the right shoulder and right cheek. The left hand roots into the floor as we twist a little to the left. Now this can be quite intense. And I usually recommend that you only do that if your left shin is parallel to the front of your mat. It's also kind of fun to play with if it's not there, but just know that there's room to move if your left shin is not parallel to the front of the mat. So you don't necessarily have to do the twist to get into it, right? So allow yourself to feel the sensation in the left hip to the point where you can deepen your breath, but soften the remaining part of your body. That's shoulders, it's toes, it's fingers, it's face, jaw. Like try to soften as much as you can with that sensation being fairly intense in the left hip. One more deep, full breath. All right, hands come underneath shoulders, lift the torso on up. Roll over your right toes, lift your right knee really nice and slowly, send your left leg back. It could be three-legged dog, so you can lift it up, you can bend and open. It could be three-legged table as you shake it out. Maybe it's just down dog, or maybe it's child's pose, or whatever variation of movement and asana that works for you with that left leg, do that. And then give yourself about 3-4 breaths and just kind of check in with the body. And then when it's all taken care of, however you want to get your feet to your hands, so you can walk, you can step, or you can float, and then separate the feet a little bit, and then fold forward. So hands are either dangling, finding opposite elbow, or maybe wrapping around the legs. You could even wrap the hands around the back of the head as you squeeze the forehead, the forearms towards the ears. Sway the hips, bend and straighten the knees. Just a little bit of an inversion here. One more breath. Allow your shoulders and head to be really heavy. And then when you're ready, take the hands to mid-thigh, flatten your back, lift the chin, lift the chest. And then really slowly bring yourself all the way on up. You could get a little lightheaded, so give yourself a moment. Rotate your palms towards the front of the room and then walk your feet a little bit closer. Just press right foot, left foot, a little bit like you're marching. Shake out your hands, shake out your legs. All right, so hands come to heart center. Inhale, arms reach up. Lift the chin, lift the gaze. Right hand grabs left wrist. Exhale, side bend to the right. Give yourself a breath or two here. You can do a little bit of micro adjustments by gazing underneath the left arm and then maybe towards the floor. Do that a few times with the neck. You can bring the weight to the heels as you soften the toes. Inhale back to center, arms reach up, lift the gaze. Left hand grabs right wrist, exhale, side bend. And then give yourself some time. Chin up and down, right and left. Hips pressing out, breathing in the right ribs. Maybe the torso or the hips sink a little forward. Nice. Inhale back to center, arms reach up. Elbows bend, hands and elbows draw back. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Squeeze your shoulder blades and elbows towards one another, and then very slowly straighten the elbows, knuckles towards the floor. Maybe the wrists come together. And then bend the knees a little bit. Tuck your chin towards your chest. Hinge at the waist as if you're going to bring your forehead towards your knees. Arms come off the lower back until you feel enough in the front of the shoulders and the chest. Little variation, arms can drift a little to the right and a little bit to the left. Tuck your chin again, shake the head. Relax your arms, let the arms dangle, give them a shake. Inhale, halfway up, flatten your back, lift your chin, lift your chest. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands, walk, step, or gently float all the way back, top of a push-up. Push through your heels, tuck your tailbone, engage your belly, lift the chin. Hold here for a moment. Now your movement is up to you. You can lower to your knees and then lower all the way to the floor for cobra, or you can lower halfway down through up dog. So whatever movement is working for you today, do that. When you're in your up dog or cobra, give yourself a moment here. Maybe gaze over the right shoulder and left shoulder. You can even wag the tail a little bit and lengthen. And then you're going to ease yourself into table pose. So knees down, hands underneath shoulders. Wag your tail from side to side. So you're going to press right hip out, left hip out. You can even move the head a little. And then we're going to go into a wagging cow pose. So the belly just drops, scoop the tailbone up, lift the chin and chest. Keep moving from side to side. And then exhale, cat pose, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone. You can keep moving from side to side here as well. And then let's do it again. Inhale, belly drops, lift the heart, lift the chin, lift the chest. Exhale, round and squeeze. And then neutral spine, cross at your ankles, roll over your feet. Come to your seat, soles of the feet together. Now we're gonna just do all that, if I can remember, all that stuff on the other side. So soles of the feet together, they're gonna scoot a little bit forward. They're making a square. So right shin's parallel left thigh. Move the flesh from under your sit bones, get nice and tall. Come forward a bit. You can even rock a little. I like to rock, it moves the tendons over the hip bones, so you kind of do that. So this is a little preparation for the work of the hips as we get into it. All right, come back on up. Roll to your right hip. Take your left hand, grab your left ankle, and move that left knee back. Once again, support the knee with something soft underneath it. You can open it up as wide as you like. And you can move the left heel a little bit away from the left knee if you're needing some attention in that left groin. This side for me is a little bit tighter, so I gotta make some different adjustments. Right knee's in 90 degrees. So you're not pulling your shin towards you or away from you. It's somewhere in between. Heels in alignment with the middle of your body. So sternum to heel. Hands down, lift the hips up, rotate the pelvis a little forward as you rest down onto that right hip. Right hand down, left hand the bottom of the foot. A little bit of movement from side to side. And then heart towards heel. And then make your adjustments from here. So if you want to go a little bit to the right, go right ahead, a little bit to the left, know where you are. Find the spot, soften. If you do need that modification, that little bit more sensation in the hip, you're going to take the left hand down. You're going to take your right elbow in the instep of the right foot. Right hand's in the fist. Left hand comes on top. It's like you're putting a lot of power into the right elbow, into the arch of the foot, to draw that right knee away from you, and then you're going to twist to the left. So you're getting a lot of action in that right hip. The gaze is over your left elbow or shoulder. The chin is lifting up a little bit. The torso is nice and long. Big inhales, slow exhales. Mm. Mm. All right, come back to center. Hands under shoulders. Scoot your right foot back towards your left thigh. Hinge forward, plant the hands, and then you're going to straighten that left leg and scoot it back. So the left hip bone is coming towards the floor. Once again, your right heel may be touching your left hip bone. So you have a nice big angle. And then we're going to get long through the torso, and we're going to twist to the right. This should bring up this left side. So gaze underneath your right shoulder. You're looking for your left heel over or under your right shoulder. Get taller with the torso, so the hands may have to walk closer towards you. Soften your left thigh, left hip bone, so they're kind of like dragging towards the floor. Come back to center. A little bit of rock from side to side. If you need more sensation, scoot your right foot forward. Square your hip bones, the front of your pelvis towards the floor, and then start to walk yourself forward. And then soften as much as you need to. All right, everyone's right knee is okay. Cool. All right. You have that option. So keep in mind, to get more sensation in the right hip, you scoot your right foot forward so the shin gets a little bit more parallel to the front of your mat. I don't need it parallel, or you don't need it parallel if the sensation's enough, right? For a little bit of variation, we're going to thread the needle. Left arm slides behind right arm. And then you're going to rest on the outside of the left shoulder, left cheek. Now, I can't show you because this side of my hip is just way too tight. And then we soften, right? Not only is this asana great for the physical body, the hips, the connective tissue, good for the lower back. It's really nice for the IT bands, maybe even the knees if we get like opened up. But it's really nice for emotional body. So we hold a lot of emotional trauma within the hips and lower back. So we're allowing that we're wringing out the emotional body, which allows us to be a little bit more connected to our friends, family, loved ones. We're a little bit more open, a little bit more available. And in addition to that, it teaches us how to manage sensation that may be uncomfortable or unfamiliar, which all of us are in probably more than we want to be. One more deep full breath, soften through exhalation, and then really slowly bring the hands underneath the shoulders, lift the torso on up, and then you're going to roll over your left toes, lift your left knee, and right leg comes back, either down dog, three-legged down dog, table pose for cat-cow, or three-legged table pose. Big circles with the knee, clockwise, counterclockwise. So any movement that supports that right hip, right leg. And then give yourself some time. If you give yourself 3-4 breaths, check out the entire body as a whole. Are you holding any stress and tension in the neck, the jaw, the shoulders? And then once again, when you're ready, you can just walk, step, or float, feet to hands. Inhaling, coming halfway up as you flatten the back. Exhale, fold forward, tuck your chin, release your head. 2 breaths here, sway the hips. Soften the shoulders. 1 more deep full breath. Nice and slowly, come on up. Flatten the back. And then rotate the palms towards the front of the room. Shake out the legs, shake out the arms. And then let's do little twists. So let your arms be heavy as they kind of just smack the hips a little. And then up towards the side body and give the side body a little smack. It's nice for the lymphatic system. You can go up, hands to shoulders. Awesome. Shake it all out. We're going to do a little balance pose. So we're going to do tree pose. If your balance is a little funky today, find a wall, find a table or a chair, or maybe a small child with a head, maybe a big child. And we're going to start with the left foot. So spread your left toes nice and wide. Keep in mind, a lot of your balancing has to do with your drishti. Your drishti is your gaze, where you're really keeping the gaze towards one spot that doesn't move, and you're going to soften the eyes. This helps narrow and focus the mind. So find a spot. There's nothing to see here in the video, so you can find a spot that's still. Spread your left toes nice and wide. Bring the weight to your left foot. So stand your right toes to start with. Bend and straighten the knee a little bit. I want the quadricep to be engaged. So if you lock your knee, see if you can keep that leg engaged. A lot of times when we lock the knee, the quadricep gets soft. So strong left leg. And then take your right toes, and you can maybe find the arch to the ankle or the arch to the calf, or you can grab the foot and bring the foot on the inside of the left thigh. Hands could be table, floor, or hands to heart center. Left leg is pressing into the right foot. Whoa. You're lengthening through the side body as you lift the heart, and you're reaching with the crown of the head. The hands can find really any position that's comfortable. So they can stay at heart, they can extend up. You can interlace fingers and swivel the palms up. You can bend the elbows. You can play with whatever variation that you like. You can even do eagle arms if you like, if you want to get the upper back. So whatever's working, if you fall out, you just come back in. So falling out looks like this. Coming back in looks like this. Right? No harm, no foul. So give yourself enough time here where you start to feel it in ankle, muscles in the bottom of the foot, arch, top of the foot, left leg. And then when that's feeling pretty good, hands are going to come back to heart center. Once again, if you're still wanting to hang out here for longer, by all means, do that. And then when you're ready, you're going to take your right foot off and then softly bring it down. And then let's take care of the left foot. So roll on your left toes, press the front of the ankle towards the floor, and then make some circles, clockwise, counterclockwise. Shake out that left leg. All right. Everyone's good? Okay, cool. All right, nice. All right, spread your right toes nice and wide. Nice and wide. Having a problem with speech. Bend and straighten right knee. Make sure it's strong. And then left foot to the ankle, calf, or inner thigh. Just not on your knee. Doesn't matter where it's at. Left knee draws open. Right leg presses into that left foot. And once again, right knee does not have to be bent. You only bend it if you feel like you're having a problem engaging your quadricep. So it could be straight, but I want it to be strong. Ribs and belly draw in, get really tall with torso, reach with the crown of the head, hands to heart center. And then whatever works with your arms, right? Palms up. Elbows can bend as you lift the heart. You could interlace the fingers behind the back, and you can do other eagle arms if that's working for you today. Keep in mind that a lot of us, when we're balancing, we hold our breath. So see if you can smooth out the inhalation, exhalation. Usually the first place I feel it are the tops of my feet, those little muscles that are constantly adjusting. Sometimes the ankle feels it as well. You don't have to have your hands behind your head. You could lift them up if you like, if you're just going to join in with us. All right, hands down, left foot comes off, and then softly press it down. Nice, roll on your right toes. Maybe visit each one of your toes. Like this little piggy went to market. This little piggy had corona. This little piggy wore a face mask. Shake out your right leg. All right, nice work. Come to the front of your mat, hands come to heart center. Bend and straighten your knees a few times. Inhale, arms reach up, lift the chin, lift the chest. Maybe a back bend if you need it. Exhale, hands come through heart center, nice and slow, fold forward. Release your arms, tuck your chin. Soften. Inhale. Halfway up as you flatten, lengthen, lift the heart, chin and chest. Nice work. Exhale, bend your knees. Plant your hands, walk, step or float, all the way back, top of a push-up. Keep your feet together. Roll onto the outside of your left foot, so you're either stacking or staggering your feet. Now sweep your right arm up towards the ceiling. This is always the problem with practicing at home if you have dogs they want to enjoy. Right arm reaches up over your right ear. Lift your hips a little higher. Right hand comes down, come back into plank. Lower your elbows down, forearm plank. Palms are down or hands into fists or interlace the fingers. Push through your heels, tuck your tailbone, lift the chin. If you have dogs, let your dog kiss your face. Hands on her shoulders, gently lift yourself on up. Let's try the other side. So feet together, roll on the outside of the right foot. Stack or stagger feet. Twist and open, left arm reaches up. Options, right knee can come down. Or left leg can lift. Left arm could slide over left ear. Hips lift a little higher. Keep breathing. Exhale, left hand comes down, back into plank. Lower knees, floor, cobra, or halfway down, up dog. Exhale, either table, down dog, or child's pose. Whatever's working. 3 breaths wherever you find yourself. You can move or create stillness. Keep in mind you are only doing what supports your body. Nothing more, nothing less. All right, drop to the knees, cross at your ankles, roll over your feet, and you're going to find your way to your back, flat. Once you get there, draw the thighs towards the belly, chest. A little squeeze. A little bit of movement from side to side as you massage the lower back. You can make circles with your knees, clockwise and counterclockwise. Feels pretty good. And then we're going to do bridge pose. So feet find the floor about hips distance apart. Press down through your feet very slowly. Lift your tailbone, lower back up off the ground. If you need more, mid back comes up off the ground. And if you want full expression, squeeze your shoulder blades towards one another. Interlace the fingers behind the hips as you press your triceps into the ground, maybe even the forearms pressed into the ground. Chin towards chest. And if you need more space, come onto your tippy toes. And if you're ambitious today, straighten one knee. So either the thighs are parallel or maybe the foot comes up towards the ceiling. And if you lift one leg, give yourself enough time to lift the other leg. One more deep, full breath. Long spine open through the belly and the heart. When you're ready, lower the feet, the heels, release the hands, lower the hips. Windshield wiper your knees side to side as you soften the lower back. And draw the knees towards the belly, chest again. Hands slide in between the legs, grab the bottoms of the feet. Ankles come over the knees. Separate the feet as wide as you can. And then invite those thighs down towards the floor by your rib cage. If you're needing a little bit more, invite the tailbone towards the floor. And if you have your feet, you can give your feet another foot massage. Never a bad idea. And then play a little bit by straightening and bending one knee, then the other knee, bringing the feet in and out. All right, when you're ready, Shavasana is waiting for you. So release your feet, heels, find the corners of your mat, a little external rotation of your thighs so the feet fall open. You could slide blanket pillows underneath the knees or underneath the back of the head, or maybe down the spine. The palms can swivel up by your side body, or you can take the left hand to the heart, right hand to the belly. Draw the chin down a little bit so you're long through the back of the neck. Take a really nice big inhale through your nose, exhale out your mouth. And allow everything to melt. Soften the toes, the ankles, the fingers and toes, fingers and wrists. Soften the arms and the legs, the belly, the chest. In this stillness, you are complete. You are whole, you are powerful, beautiful, smart, creative. You have everything you need in this moment. And just rest. And as you bring your awareness to your surroundings, allow your breath to deepen as it fills the lungs, pressing into the diaphragm and the belly, feeding this body, slowly starting to wiggle your fingers and your toes, rolling your wrists and ankles, and gently rocking your head from side to side. Extending your arms up over your head. Stretch from your fingers all the way down to your toes. Get really nice and long. And on the exhalation, just relax. A moment here to acknowledge your body, your practice, filling the heart with gratitude for the opportunity that we have for this day. Gently draw the knees towards the belly. As you wrap your arms around your legs, give yourself a little loving kindness. Right arm reaches up over your head and gently roll to your right side. Give yourself a moment here before we reintegrate into the rest of the world. This is a reminder, this fetal position, a reminder that at any point in time, we can start again to create the life that we deserve, that we want. Each breath, each moment is an opportunity for us to find something more, something connected, something powerful, loving. And then softly pressing the hands into the floor, bring yourself up into a comfortable seat. And with a nice long torso, soften your shoulders, relax your jaw. Bring the hands towards one another. This symbols our connection to all things. Thumbs towards the heart for our unbounding love, compassion, and empathy. Take a nice big inhale through your nose and exhale out your mouth. Thank you guys so much for sharing your morning practice, your presence, and your power. Have a beautiful day. Namaste. Nice work, yogis.